this is the assembly instructions for the shark pattern. So this is what it's going to look like once we've assembled it all. So I've got my cardstock, so I'm using Graphic 45, and this is the little things. So I'm using the red colourway, this one here, and the yellow. Okay, so I'm using the reverse side of this one, which is a plain. So I've got all the pieces here. Okay, and you would have had separate instructions to use with either a scan and cut, a silhouette, or a Cricut, depending which machine's your favourite. So these are all the pieces. So I've put them in place here, okay, just to make sure we know which piece is which. Okay, so I'll put those to one side. So the first thing we need to do is to fold along the score lines for the dorsal fins. So these are the dorsal fins. So the dorsal fins, they have score lines just on the edge here. Now I've used a scan and cut here to cut this out, so it does like a dashed line on here. So I just need to fold those. Now if you're going to hang your shark, this is where you put your thread or whatever you're using in the center here, okay, so that that's nicely held in place with the glue. All right, so I'm not going to do that this time. So we just need to put a little bit of glue on there, like so, and stick those together. Like that. Okay, so that those two tabs are then making a T with the dorsal fin itself. So then we need to glue the tabs on the top edge, so this edge here, and then what we're going to do is then slip the fin through the slit on the upper body mat. Okay, so we just need to put the glue there on that top edge, and the same on that side, and then making sure the dorsal fin is pointing towards the back of the shark's body, which is the pointed bit. Slip that through there and then hold that down to glue that in place. And then there's some gills here, you might not be able to see on the camera here. I'll bring it closer so you'll be able to see them there. And they just need to be folded. Again, there are score lines there. So you just need to push that up so that it shows the gills of the shark. So again, I'm going pattern side up. So they'll go up through there. Then you'll see these more when it's stuck to the actual body. And then we need to glue the upper body mat, this is the upper body mat, to the upper body, making sure that the slits at the end of both parts are lined up. So this is the slit here that we're talking about. This is for the shark's tail to slip into. So if we get the actual body here, it's got a similar slit here. Okay, so we just need to do this bit. Just clear my glue nozzle, making sure we don't glue over those gills. Okay, and then match up those slits there, and then the point at the front end, like so. Okay, just double check that that slit lines up there, which it does. Okay, so next part. Heat the underside of the two parts with the heat tool to make it curve. So what we're wanting to do here is to curve this body. Now, depending on the weight of your card stock, that's easier or harder to do. So, you can't have too heavy card stock with this, otherwise it won't curve nicely. But I do find that a heat tool does actually help that process. Okay. Once that's heated up, if you get any sort of cylinder object to just encourage that to make a curve round. And you might want to get some elastic bands around that just to hold in place for a while. Just also check where you've glued here. See, it's just starting to come apart. So I'll just glue those back in place whilst it's curled round. Okay, so as you can see, it's nicely curved now. So yours should look something like this. So it's nicely curving on its own accord. All right, so the next thing to do is that we need to fold along the score lines on the underbody. So this is the underbody, and we've got a score line there and a score line there. So which way you fold depends on which way you want your pattern to be viewed. So that will be the inside, so you won't really see that, and obviously the bottom is the bit that'll be showing more. Okay, so I'm going to put the plain side on the bottom there to match up with the plain here, and then we need to glue the underbody and upper body together along the tabs so that they join directly behind the last tooth on the underbody. So it's important to use very strong glue here, as there'll be quite a bit of tension due to the curve. Okay, so this is where we're joining it. So this is the back. So that's the back. So we've also got a little slit there for the tail to go into. And so the tab here, as you can see, will connect up along that line. So where that fin is there, like so. Okay, as I say, that's going to then curve around the other way, onto the other side. So that's why it's important to help this curve first of all. Otherwise, there'll be too much tension on that join. Okay, so we glue along here. Now you could put a couple of clips or something just to hold that together and let it dry for a bit longer, so that it's got a nice firm join. Okay, that looks good. And then we need to do the same on the other side. Fold the teeth along the score lines. So that's these here. So we're going to fold up on the bottom ones. All right, so looking good. So next point, fold the fins upwards along the score lines. So that's referring to these. So we can fold those up like so. So the next part, insert the tail using the slits on both the body and the tail. So these are the slits at the end that we've been talking about. So here's the tail. Okay, so this also has a slit just there. You can see that there. So that just slides into place. So we need to put it on the top first. Just get that gap there. Okay, so that slides right in there. Okay, and then underneath the tail just slits in on that slit there just to hold it in place. So now we just need to glue the eyes into place. So there we have it. And then, as you can see, you can do all sorts. Here we've just sort of done some nice decorative work with some with a white gel pen here, and coloured the teeth white so they show up more, and also sort of got some ink and just shaded the edges so it sort of makes it more decorative if you want to do that. And you can hang them on a mobile, have them as cake decoration, just put them on a table as placements You could get a cocktail stick or something similar to stick in between there and put a name on, so that it's a place name for a party or anything like that. Obviously not cocktail stick if it's children, just something that would be nice and safe for children, like just a piece of card in there. Okay, so next the pattern comes with some little fish as well, so we'll go on to the assembly of those little fish. So I'm going to start off with the round fish, and what I find it's easier to do is just place the pieces so you know what piece goes where, because some of them are quite similar. So that's what it should look like. There's pictures on the instructions here, so you'll be able to refer to those as well. So basically it's just a case of layering the pieces. So I'll just move these off. So first of all, I'll just make a note about this one. It's easy to think that it's going to go that way because you think that that's the logical way to go, but actually the fin is at the front of the fish. So you'd put that one with that bit lining up with the tail, like so. Don't glue this bit down because this folds back as a fin, so it's got a score line just there. That's the only score line on this particular little fish. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's our completed round fish, apart from the eyes. Now, as I say in the instructions, these are quite fiddly, which is why, well, all the parts are quite small. I wouldn't cut this little fish any smaller. You can obviously certainly go larger, which I have in mind actually to do to make a big picture out of the little fish and frame it and put it in my bathroom, but I'll show you that when I do it. But yeah, these in particular, these eyes are very small fiddly bits. If you don't want to do it, that's absolutely fine, because what you can do, you can just do it with a pen and that would be no problem at all. It would look just as good. So there we are. There's one side of the round fish. And as I say, you can put these on a card. Again, I'll do an example of that and put a photo of that in as well. And you can then, obviously it comes with the mirror image one as well, so you can stick those two together and put a thread through and have those hanging down with the shark, or you could put a stand and put them on a wooden block, like I did with the aeroplane, if you've seen that. So now it's the long fish. So I'll just get the pieces for that. I've just done a dry run with these, just making sure I know what's going where again. And there are two score lines here, one for this fin here and one for the gill. So we just need to make sure that that's right. So I'll just bring these away. So this big piece is the first piece to go. So you need to just fold this fin back and then just glue that in place. Okay, and then that goes right up to that fold line and that end of that tail there. Okay, that's looking good. And fold that back. You can fold that gill up as well. Okay. And then we just go and put the remaining of the pieces on. So again, this one comes in a mirror image as well, so you can do the same as what I was saying about this one, and put a string or thread in between, etc. So there we have it. So the long fish, the round fish, and the shark.